All right. Well, it's going to be the top of the hour here in just a little bit, and thanks for joining us, everyone. I know it's the week before Christmas, and a lot of people are out and about doing things, getting their last minute shopping. Some people have family coming in town already. Colleges are letting out and all that. So I thank you for taking the time to join us. If you're joining us here, if you're listening on a recording, thanks for taking the time to listen. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick, and I've got my friend Rennie Ferguson. I'm here in Fargo, North Dakota, where we're getting some snow tonight. We've been getting a little bit cooler weather, but boy, it's still not bad for December. And Rennie, welcome to the call. You're up in British Columbia, right?
Yeah, in the interior of British Columbia. It's desert here, but it's chilly today, and more snow is predicted on the weekend. I've been getting my share of exercise shoveling my driveway.
Shoveling. Yeah, we've had to do a little bit, but not much. Boy, I tell you what, there's been some winters, like if we go back 20 years ago, holy cow, we already had probably 4 feet of snow on the ground by this time.
Yeah.
Every week we had a blizzard. For those of you in Australia, a blizzard is when you get lots of snow and then you combine 30, 40, 50 mile an hour winds, and it blows it around so much that like if your car's parked outside, I remember in '97, I parked my car outside, and when I went out back the next morning, it was buried. You couldn't even see the car.
Yeah, it causes the drifts, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you can't see anything when you're driving. It's white out. So anyhow, so Rennie, we started about a month ago doing these calls, and we're doing them every week. And the reason that I suggested to Katie and yourself and other leaders that we should do this every week is because back when we were doing team calls weekly with this kind of a format, we were seeing tremendous growth in the team, and I'm seeing it already. Volume is going up. We're compared to the last couple months, volume is up about 20% from where we were 2 months ago. So I believe that it's working. I may be wrong. Maybe there's other circumstances, but so what we do on these calls, everyone, is we talk a little bit about how to use the compensation plan. I'm not going to get into in depth what the compensation plan, the 8 different profit centers or anything like that, because that's not really what's important. What's important is people want to know, how do I make money? And so that's what we're going to talk about. Yeah. And there's specific things. And what I try and tell people is that I think number one is you got to get a mindset that you're not going to be a minimizer. Minimizers are the ones who come in and say, okay, how much do I have to buy? What's the minimum that I have to buy to make this work? And what do I got to do? And when you have somebody that kind of asks you those questions and really kind of focuses on that, I'm going to be real straightforward with you. Chances are they're not one of your leaders, and you're looking for 3 leaders. You're looking for 3 people to really help you build your team. And then what you're going to do is then you're going to help them find their 3 leaders. And what I try and tell people is that you may think of somebody that is going to be a superstar. They're going to go out and build. Maybe they've done network marketing in the past, and you get them started and they just don't do anything. Well, they're not one of your 3. Right? You can sit there and you can focus on them. You can focus on, maybe they'll come to life later, but they're not one of your 3 right now. And that's important to point out to people, is that you're looking for 3 people, and you want to do this relatively quickly, because it's the speed of the leader that builds the speed of the team. And Sizzle, a number of years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, they designed a new compensation plan. Wasn't it about 3 years ago that you and I started talking about this, Rennie, about 3 years ago?
I'm going to say it's 4 years ago now, where they added that.
The Wealth Builder.
The Wealth Builder program. Yeah, the coded bonuses.
Okay. And so when we changed the compensation plan, we added this Wealth Builder plan to the program. And what the Wealth Builder plan basically does is it gives you an incentive to build with speed. Build with speed. And there's some things to it that you're going to want to jump on the webinar training that Milo does when he talks about the compensation plan. I'm not going to go through that right now. All I'm going to say is that when you're looking for your 3 leaders, here's what you're looking for. You're looking for people who understand the concept that if you can go and find 3 people who want to build a team, that's step number 1. You're going to find other people who just say, hey, I love the product. And oh, what's that product? Yeah, I need that product. I need that product. You're going to find those people too. You're going to find people that love products, and they're going to go out and find other product people. Those aren't your 3. Your 3 that you're looking for have this idea in head that they're going to go on, they're going to build a team that's going to go out and build a team. It's going to go out and build a team, and you're going to start making, they're going to start making a lot of money, which means you're going to start making a lot of money. And that's what it's all based on. So there's a way of positioning yourself and coming in the right way. And coming in the right way is buying one of the Wealth Builder packs. It's 300 in volume, a little bit more in some cases, but about 300 in volume, and a little bit more than $300 American. I don't know what that translates to in Canadian or Australian or New Zealand or wherever you happen to be, but it's 300 in volume. And so I'm just going to say $300, although it varies from that just a little bit. And then you're going to go out and find 3 people who are going to do the same thing with the compensation plan. You're going to get paid back really quickly by doing that. But when you go out and find 3 people, you're going to make a whopping about $70, you know, and you're spending 300. So you're not going to make money right away. So if you think I'm saying, hey, go out and do this, you're going to make your money back right away. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you find 3, and then you help those 3 go out and find 3. And then you do that one more time. So you found 3 who found 3 who found 3. There's 39 people in your organization. And based on the 39 people, they're consistently spending that $300 a month on buying products. And Rennie's going to talk about one of the products. And last week, Katie talked product. The other 2 weeks, Katie talked products. And you, I mean, there's products that you're going to want. Trust me, $300 in products isn't hard to spend. And I spend just on myself and my 2 puppies. I spend $600 a month in products, and I use them. I use them. Every morning, my 13-year-old dog, he gets his products. He takes the Triangle of Life. He doesn't get quite a full dose, but he gets pretty close. He takes his age pill, and he gets a few other things. And so I believe in the products that much. And Rennie will talk about that being a product of the product. But what happens is that if you go out and you find 3 who find 3 who find 3, you're going to have 39 people in your organization. If you do the math, multiply 39 times 300 in volume and multiply that times 7%. 7% is what we get paid on the unilevel commission, which is what I call the mailbox money. It's your money that you get every single month, and so that comes out to about $1,000 that you get paid, just a little bit under that, and so you can build on that. And what I say is that you're going to find 2 or 3 customers on top of that, so you're going to be well over that. Plus, there's going to be bonuses that you're going to get paid. So it's probably going to be closer to $1,400 a month that you're going to be earning, rather than $1,000. But I can't make any guarantees. I want to put this disclaimer there right away. Typically, people, I want to tell people that you get out of something what you put into it.
Yes.
If you go out and you say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'll dabble in it, and you work a little bit here and there, and you work a little bit there. What ends up happening is that you find people who also do the same thing. People do what you do, they don't do what you say. And so what they do is they dabble in it a little bit. And so if you work on Thursdays and Fridays, they're going to work on Thursdays and Fridays. They're not going to work the other 5 days. And so you build this thing, and that's the building blocks. Because if you have 3 people and you make a commitment to help those 3, and you help those 3 each help their 3, and then you help those 3 each help their 3, and along the way you're training leaders how to be leaders. and you're
Mhm.
training people who maybe have never done network marketing before. You're training them how to be leaders as well. And being a leader is that who couldn't work with 3 people? I mean, wow, if that's all you had to do with each month was be on the phone with 3 people a couple times a week, and you just say, hey, Rennie, you need any help? Who you've been talking to? Do you want me to do a 3-way call with you? You want me to share the compensation plan? And you help build that team.
Mhm.
All of a sudden now it's going to go beyond those 39 people. I mean, if 39 people each go out and find 3, so you found 3 who found 3 who found 3 who now found 3, right?
Mhm.
39 times 3, right, is
Yeah.
about 115 people, right? I'm
Yeah.
just quickly doing the math. So 115 people, again, multiply that times 300 in volume and multiply that times 7%. You're getting a pretty nice paycheck now. And remember, we're only counting on that you found 3 people. Why did I choose 3 as my building block? Because if you look at the compensation plan, a lot of the parts of the compensation plan is designed around finding 3. And so if you build that, you can make an income with just finding 3 people. You can make an income if you do the math on it. You get paid 7 levels. You actually get an infinity bonus. You can get paid to infinity. But let's just say that on the 7 levels, you're gonna be making $10,000 a month or more, and all you found is 3 people. I mean, that's a lucrative compensation plan. And now you work with those 3 people, and eventually you're going to find more people, because as you build your team, people are going to come back and say, hey, Kurt, it looks like what you're doing is working. Tell me a little bit more about it. And they're going to come back in, and they're going to kind of come in through the side door. And all of a sudden you're going to have 4 people on your team, and you're going to take that person, you help them find 3 who find 3 who find 3. And sometimes you're going to find 3 people that are working really hard. And all of a sudden one of them, I say one of your team members breaks his leg. A year ago, I fell down in the ice a year ago and I broke my back. I mean, I was out of commission. I was basically, I mean, I couldn't even think straight. They had me on narcotics and things like that for 4 months. And that happens to people, but some people break their network marketing leg, and they fall down and they have a hard time getting back up. Things happen in life, things get in the way. And then all of a sudden, now that's when you want to have that spare leg. You want to be building that 4th leg. So while you're helping your team build their 3 legs, you're looking for number 4. You want to be building that, because if one of your legs falls down, you got another one that you can prop back up. And so you're constantly building, rebuilding, building, rebuilding. And that's what it's all about. And you can really build some nice income with this, using the compensation plan. And like I said, if we look back where we were a couple of years ago when we were talking about this kind of thing, every week we were seeing tremendous growth. I remember when I went down to Australia and I was working down in Australia, Rennie, compared to where we are today, the volume of the team was like 4 times greater than where it is right now today. Now, we've had a number of things that have happened. We had COVID hit, and it messed up some of the production. We couldn't get some of the products because we couldn't get extracts. Shipping was a major deal. I know you guys experienced it getting shipped up to there to Canada. Australia really got hit hard with shipping, and so we have to rebuild around that. And that's just one of those things. I've been a business owner since I've been 25 years old. And I'll tell you what, in traditional business, in my clinic, the same types of things happen. Phone systems go down, marketing things don't work. Things happen in the clinic. I mean, I remember back in 97, that same, I was talking about it earlier. I mean, we got like 12 feet of snow that winter, Rennie. And so people couldn't get to the clinic. They couldn't drive their cars through the snow. So you can imagine, all of a sudden, the number of patient visits that I had in my clinic went down. And staff couldn't get to work. I remember one week I drove my snowmobile to the office. That's the only way that I could get there. And then I had patients that drove their snowmobiles and they plowed through town in their four-wheel drives to get there. And so things happen in traditional business too. You just learn how to work around it, you survive, and you thrive off of it. So anyhow, that's how I wanted to present it today. You're going to find every week I present it just a little bit different way, because I'm trying to get it so that, I might say something today that catches your ear and you go, I can do that. So anyhow, Rennie, 4 years ago in July, we introduced the age pill.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you were going to share with people today.
Well, the age pill is what actually got my attention and brought me into the business. I'd been with another company. They started going sideways, and I was definitely looking for something and good nutritionals, but I'd never seen anything like Sizzle. And so I did a lot of research on the age pill, and just everything I heard about it, I love science anyway. And that's really, Sizzle's brought that out in me, that how much the science just really is my thing. And so after reading, the age pill is one of our many products that you could actually build a business on, just that one product. I don't know why you'd want to limit yourself, but don't you agree? It's like our skin line. A person could take that, or they could just look at the fitness aspect of our products. But I look at the age pill as being one of those foundational products that you can build from as far as what you wish to be taking. I've not been without it. I take 12 a day. I leverage off when I need it. I buy that 6-pack so that I'm getting the best price. And because, I can't see myself at my age going less than the 12 a day. But I have got so many testimonials now that I should one day sit down and actually make a list. But it's
share one of the testimonials that you have, because I think facts tell and stories sell, right?
Yeah. Well, remember back very early on, I had those things on each wrist. It's like your vein doesn't pop, but they're like, what is it pronounced? The gargoyle or something like that? What is it?
The gargoyle, the ganglionic cyst.
Yes. And the reason I thought of it, a friend had reached out to me and asked if the age pill addresses that. And it made me realize that, oh my God, I had one on each wrist, one larger than the other, not huge, but enough that they were there, and they were gone.
Your gargoyles were gone.
The gargoyles disappeared. So that
wow.
was a good thing. Yeah. And that was one of the first testimonies that I had with it. I mean, there was other things like my nails certainly got harder, and your skin feels softer. But after being on it now 4 years, I know my eyesight has improved. I know I can leave my phone turned down, the volume turned down much lower, and still hear it, those things. So it is affecting my hearing, but just overall, I know I'm so much healthier, and I only wish that I was 40 and got on this product. Good Lord. But I take absolutely no medications for health issues,
None.
and not many people can say that. And, when I go to the doctor or anything like that for a checkup or whatever, there's this long list of all do you have this, check here? And they sort of look at me because it's no, right down the list. And I attribute a lot of that to the age pill. I mean, because it has to do with our stem cells and the mitochondria, you couldn't get, and that's where I call it the foundational supplement, because it affects every single aspect of your body. So why would you not be taking that?
Well, there sure is a lot of science on it. You remember back 4 years ago when they first introduced it, we were hearing all this science, and I think a lot of times we forget to bring up the science on it because of the fact that we've heard it so many times. But that was back when they said, hey, when we send somebody to Mars, they're they're not going to be able to make it back, because by the time you go to Mars and back, it's going to be about a 5-year round trip, is what they said. And by the time you do it, because of the extra radiation, because you don't have the ozone layer protecting you, by the time you go to Mars and back, you're actually no. They said at that time, they said nobody will make it back. None of the astronauts would make it back, because they would all have cancer and they would age so quickly. And this discovery, using this form of niacin, this nicotinamide riboside and nicotinamide mononucleotide, they found that it actually slowed that aging process down. And they said this is probably the discovery that's going to allow astronauts to go to Mars and back. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. I do. And I wonder, because sometimes, don't you think, when we have these calls about doing the business, what are people's questions? What are maybe they not doing that they need just that little tweaking? Like, one thing I like to do is post testimonies and people, because it's a very passive way of getting the information to people, and you're not trying to sell anything. You're sharing a story, a testimony, and it gets people's attention.
That's
And
right.
so
I mean, everybody knows somebody with a gargoyle.
absolutely. And
I'll tell you what, Randy, my biggest testimonial on the HPL, I've actually got two. The two big ones that I'm going to share, that I'll turn 60 next year, and I don't mind admitting my age, but I'll turn 60 next year. And I was starting to have to wear reading glasses in order to read. And if I was looking at my smartphone, I'd have to sit there and wear my reading glasses in order to read my phone. And a lot of my friends, they have to have reading glasses just to go to a restaurant. I didn't have to do that, but I was having to wear them. And I was finding I was relying on them more and more and more. So I always had to have a couple pairs laying around. About 2 months after I started taking the age pill, I didn't need my reading glasses anymore.
Yeah.
And it's been 4 years and I still don't need my reading glasses. The other thing is that I always prided myself on having a great memory. I went to school for engineering. I went to school for chiropractic, and a lot of the time when I went to engineering, I don't tell my parents this because they'd probably still get upset with me, but I didn't buy the books. I'd just go to class and I'd sit there and I'd listen to the teacher, and I'd learn everything just by listening, and I didn't have to buy the books, and I'd pass the classes. And but over time, all of a sudden I found at the end of the day, and this is how guys do it, we have a pocket full of Post-it notes, or we have napkins that we write stuff on, and we're always writing stuff down on pieces of paper, and we're slipping that in the pocket. My pockets are empty.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't have. So those are my two testimonials, Rennie, and yeah, I never missed it. I never missed my dose of H-Pill when we were down at Mayo Clinic last week with my dad. They didn't have any problem with him continuing to take that product as well, right? They always want to know, depending on what's going on with you. And so, yeah, what a great product. And so a foundational product like that, and like you said, combine it with some of the other foundational products. And I think, the Triangle of Life, which Spectrum Active Coid and the Eternity are all foundational products. I think that the toothpaste and the shampoo and they should be foundational products, because because they're products that typically, if you're buying a store brand, and I'm not going to name any brands, but store brands, they contain toxins that affect your life, that are horrible things. And so foundational products, exactly. So you could build your 300 PV a month just on foundational products, couldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I wonder too, just sort of part and parcel of this conversation, but going off the age pill, when I see people sort of building this, I mean, it doesn't happen overnight for most of us. But it's your business. So when I see people stopping to buy products, it's like, what? You're not brushing your teeth anymore? You're not, you're not shampooing your hair, or have you gone and you're starting to buy your products on store shelves? Because being that product of the product, because you will create your own testimonies, that is what people are going to say and notice the difference. And they're going to, what are you doing? It might be, a couple of years down the road, you've been on these products. But I just don't believe there are products that are better than what we have anywhere in the world. I'm so
That's right.
convinced with these products that
That's right.
why would I stop? So even though, I'm not making huge money, I'm still investing in my business every month. And I think that's what people have to realize. Well, I can't buy products because they didn't make any money this month. Well, what happens if somebody underneath you, even if you've just got very few people, they brought somebody in and they got to work and they're going to pass you, and gosh, you should have been looking ahead and already behaving as if you're a 1-star. And then
That's
you're
right.
taking advantage of all the rewards that Sizzle offers, and you're safe, because that guy you aren't going to go, oh my God, I missed a huge paycheck because somebody down below me got to work, or a new person
right.
came in.
But
So you always want to keep yourself qualified.
if you come in it with the right attitude, that you're gonna build it with speed, that you're gonna work till you find your 3 people, and you're gonna keep working after you find those 3 people. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep building. You're gonna build with strength. And what that means is that to me, what that means is that you're gonna get on the phone and you're going to talk to at least one new person every single day. And I'll tell you what, if you talk to one new person every single day, you're going to find your 3, because on average, and I'm talking, based on the statistics that have been put out by top leaders in the network marketing industry, they're saying that out of 30 people that you talk to, you're going to find one person that's a potential leader. So if you're talking to one new person a day, even if you're talking to all the duds, you're going to find one stud per month. And so in 90 days, you're going to find your 3. And if it takes them 90 days, right, to do the exact same thing, right, you just got to hang in there one more day, and you got to help them do the exact same thing. And yeah, like Randy said, what if it takes you a year? I mean, holy cow, think about it. After that, it's gravy. And you think about, how many years do you work at your business, or at your job part-time? I mean, how many people work a part-time job where they earn $1,000 a month?
I know.
Not very many people. And so these are important things that you got to think about. So if you put a little bit of time in, if you just say, hey, I can invest half an hour a day, that's enough time you could build this. So you set aside a half hour a day, and it doesn't have to be a half hour, like 30 minutes at a time. It could be 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Like I try and tell people, Rennie, you live up in British Columbia. I mean, I'm guessing that by the time you jump in your car, you drive to the store, it takes you 10 or 15 minutes to drive there. What if you use that drive time and you make it productive, and you do one of your calls as you're driving?
Yeah, you do that. Or you're always running into people, or that you can share. I mean, look at the story I said about that neighbor. I mean, she lives a couple blocks away from me, and we would run into each other when we were out walking. I mean, at that time she was hobbling. She was bent over like an old lady and hobbling. And you should see her now.
What does she look like now? Tell everybody what your neighbor is.
She's the gal that I shared the testimony about. She's standing upright, and she's walking she has spinal stenosis. So
that's narrowing of the canal where the nerves come out, for those of you who don't know what stenosis is.
And she figured what attributed to that was her She did work at Costco for many years in the pharmacy on, standing on those cement floors. That's
concrete.
what she attributes it to. So doing some research, and actually, thanks to Michael, like I'd gotten her on some products and she was very impressed and has increased them. And then Michael, about a month or 6 weeks ago, he asked specifically, it was anything to rehydrate because he has it in his neck. And so I could hardly wait to get off the call and message her what you had said on the call, because it's the first time I'd ever heard in my research or anything something specific that could do that. Well, she's ordered it now. She's, and she's taking our new collagen, and she just is loving our products. And then she says the other day, she says, oh my gosh, I'm using a toothpaste that's costing me $20 a tube, and Sizzles is only $10. She said, woohoo, I'll be saving money. And I tell you, she is not, she's just retired not that long ago. She says, I'm going to have to go and get a job because I just keep loving these products.
Get her to find 3 people. Tell her you don't have to get a job. Find 3 people.
I did say to her, but I'll let her come to me with that.
Oh, no, don't let her come to you with that. I'll share this with you, Rennie, is that, okay, I had somebody that I had brought into the business, and I was sharing products with them, kind of like what you're doing. And I was kind of letting them kind of make the decisions along the way. And I wasn't approaching them. Right. Yeah. And what ended up happening, by the time it got to the point to where I finally said, hey, you know what? You love the product so much, you should get involved with the business. And guess what they told me, Rennie?
They were already involved with something else.
They already got involved with something else. They said we enjoy network marketing so much. The products are so good. We joined this other company because they, this or that reason. And I share that. So don't wait. What I try and tell people is that,
I will share with you. Well, how can people do that? If they found the quality of these products, why would they go off to another company? But her and I were talking.
Have you ever gone to a steakhouse and you go, I love the steak? Did you ever think about opening up a steakhouse? No. Right? That loving products doesn't make a person want to start a business. Starting a business is an entirely desire on its own. People have to want to start a business in order to start a business. And so they're 2 different things. So don't equate loving products with starting a business.
Well, I will share with you. Now, this was probably about a month or 6 weeks ago, and she was talking about how much she loved this, and then about the difference between her and I. And I says, well, Sizzle has got some great loyalty rewards for the business builders, and I did share that every 4th month I get a check for added products. I throw those on. Well, I have to there's a way to do this. You phone in, you take your auto ship off auto ship for that month. You've still got your order, which qualifies you. They move it to the next month because you can't send loyalty rewards with your regular order, but this way you can. So I'll just add that amount on, and it saves me the shipping. I mean, yes, they pay me the shipping back at the end of the year, but it still saves them and it saves me. So I explained that to her, and the shipping back. I mean, how can you go wrong? Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of those? Again, one of the things that I love about network marketing is the leverage factor. And I question whether everybody understands how to really leverage in these businesses.
I'm looking at the time, Rennie, we try and keep it to 30 minutes. Let's talk about leverage when we come back after the first of the year, or maybe you and I can do a special call this week, before Christmas. Would you want to do a special call this week? And we'll just talk about, we'll talk the difference between residual and leverage and the different kinds of making money.
Yeah. Because before we go, when you're talking about getting your 3, people always have to realize they're going to be picking up the odd customer too. So if when you're talking about those 3 business builders, but let's look at the add-ons, you know, I mean, you're going to get that 25% from your personally enrolled customers. That's going to be, you know, significant bonus as well. So you've got those tossed in the mix there. Yeah, we
Yeah.
could do that. My Christmas
You-
is canceled. I'm gonna be sitting here in BC.
There you go. I'm gonna run down to my mom's again. I've been at my mom's every year for 59 years for Christmas.
Yeah, good for you. Good for
There you
you.
go. All right. Well, everyone, have a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2022. It's hard to believe that the
I
New
know.
Year is here. For those of you that listen to the recording, get back to the person that brought you here and find out more, you know. And if you want to talk to me, you know, I'm easy to find on the internet, you know, and Rennie is too. And we're happy to share this with your prospects. So
Yeah.
Rennie, have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy
Thank
New
you so
Year,
much.
and we'll see you
We'll
in
be talking.
2022.
Yeah, we'll be talking soon. Take care, everyone. Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas.